Alright, so what we're going to be covering in this video is how life depends on context to give it a greater, broader meaning behind it. So we're about to get philosophical. So let's just get to the main idea. And the main idea is that the individual parts that compose a whole all have some type of role behind them. So for instance, like cells that make up an organism, they somehow have various different roles they play where they create this organism, and this organism creates like a general bigger form of life that is composed of these little organisms. And it's just basically holons within holons within holons, like little parts that comprise the greater whole. So how does this relate to meaning? Well, it's important that I explain this because life itself, when you just consider a part individually, it has no context, no meaning. Take a word, for instance. If I say the word bark, there could be multiple meanings behind it. So am I referring to a tree? Am I referring to a dog's bark? No, the word individually without a context has no meaning to it, but there are multiple definitions to it, and this is called structuralism. So when we use the word bark in a sentence, the dog was barking, it gives it context and it gives it some type of meaning which clarifies what the word means. Now, how does this relate to meaning? Well, let me explain. When we are born, we don't really have context. We are still growing, we are still maturing, we're still gaining these experiences where it all builds up, right? So the more experiences we get in life, we start accumulating skills, we start having different relationships, we start following different purposes, passions, interests. It starts building this type of framework around our life that gives us more context, because the entire universe is basically comprised of these parts that create these general wholes that provide some type of meaning. Like, for instance, a galaxy is comprised of different solar systems and planets which make up this galaxy, like the Milky Way, right? We're a part of it. So the same thing with an individual life. It's just like you can picture someone's own life as a whole, right? But when you give it a broader context, like you being a member of a team or you being a member of a business or in an organization, you have some type of role to play, which gives you a context and it gives you some type of purpose or meaning behind your role in your position. So when we go back to your life and how you can generate more meaning, it's to one, start gaining more life experiences. Start gaining some more types of skills you can learn, some type of value you can bring into your life, and then it provides you a greater form of meaning because everything in the world is interconnected in some way. Without a context or this interconnectedness, you have no meaning. You're just an individual part in the universe, in reality, without any type of meaning if there's no types of context or things that can connect to that individual part that as you are. So when you are learning skills, gaining life experiences, gaining different types of achievements, things like that, meaning starts naturally building around your life. And I would consider this the process of emergence, allowing meaning to just emerge out of your life versus you trying to find a purpose and you trying to find meaning in your life. You're allowing like a natural process to unfold and provide you meaning. Meaning is found like through a natural process, I would say. I'm not trying to say also too that I have everything figured out in my life. No, like, but I'm trying to see, or I'm starting to see as I develop skills, as I learn new things, read new books, gain new perspectives, have different types of experiences in my life. It's starting to naturally emerge. And this is why no single individual in the world can have the same exact meaning as somebody else. Because everyone is born with a different set of a genetic code, a different set of strengths, a different set of background experiences, childhood trauma, childhood memories, whatever, that can all factor in to your individual life and how you interpret it, because we are all naturally every single day interpreting our life experiences, which is giving us different sets of ways of interpreting it and then basically building off a meaning around it. So if you're not gaining experiences, if you're not doing just gaining new references throughout your daily experience, you are not building your natural life purpose or like some type of meaning behind it. Because the more connections you can make, the more references, the more contexts you can put yourself in, going out to see different parts of the world, going out there and meeting new people, building different skills, increasing your vocabulary, your knowledge base, all these different things. It's providing like a new set of structure constantly being naturally evolved. It's allowing for this process to emerge naturally, and then you're allowing yourself to form these different types of interpretations that provide a greater context, a greater meaning behind it. So what I would say is, don't focus too much on the idea of just going out there and trying to find a purpose or some type of meaning, or just like finding some type of values to just identify with because someone else is doing. Like, you can use these different structures and study how people have basically formed a meaning around their life, like a great life purpose, but it's not like you should copy their life purpose. You can use it as a reference, study what they do, and formulate something around your own life, which provides you a natural form of meaning, because it's just naturally going to spawn out. We have different interests by natural trait that nobody else probably has. So basically, like, I just want to provide an example of like how this is factoring in my own life. So I had like quite some experience with e-commerce. In my childhood, I also learned a lot about like Photoshop, just natural ways how to build businesses online. I've also had like just periods in my life too, which is what I'm also still doing with like just trading financial markets. And also too, like in my free time, I just love to study philosophy, spirituality, experience with just meditation, explore consciousness and stuff like that, and just like various different like life phenomena in the universe that just genuinely interests me. And this is all in some way contributing to like a general greater meaning naturally forming in my life. So in the future, I can consider working on like some like intellectual theories, intellectual pursuits, writing about it in like my note system and stuff like that. And it's all just naturally creating like a form of meaning in my life, which nobody else can replicate and nobody else can like fully understand unless I put out this work, so people can see what it is that I'm actually doing. But the same thing applies to you. So it's just like a natural byproduct of just living your daily life. You're building these skills. You are basically creating these new life experiences. It's providing you a greater life context that you can interpret in your own unique way that formulates this meaning naturally. No one's gonna have the same meaning. So stop trying to copy somebody else's life purpose, life meaning, and start to have some more introspection within your own life. Start reflecting what kind of experiences you're having on a daily basis. How is this formulating your own meaning? What's the context that you're placing yourself in with all your memories, your experiences, that is naturally just going to provide you this meaning? Because over time, the more we evolve, so is our purpose and our like life values and stuff like that is too going to evolve with it. It's not like the meaning and purpose and stuff like that is just static, because the more experiences we get, the more context there are. So the more context there are, that naturally means that there is this form of meaning around our life that is constantly evolving. It could be subject to change, your interests could change, but at its most fundamental layer, like you that is connecting all these different types of contexts, direct references to your own life experience, is just going to naturally form this meaning. So this is why I would say life meaning depends on context. It depends on different life experiences, because it's a natural emergent process that just comes out of life. The more we learn, the more value we put to ourselves and our name, the more skills we acquire, it's just naturally going to build up. So I wouldn't say stress too much on just like finding like a full life purpose to identify, or like some type of identity. Like, yes, you can like do these like practices, but realize too at the core level that it's just an emergent process. I would say this is something that I have come to like agreement with from my own personal experience, where I'm starting to understand, and it's just something I find invaluable to just share, because I feel like this is just an important process people don't understand about the whole idea of meaning and behind it. It's just a emergent process that naturally comes out of life experiences and the context that come along with it. So I'm Jan. That was the video. I wanted to provide some additional insight on just meaning and life purpose, and how it's just basically a emergent phenomenon in life. So that's it for the video. See you guys in the next one.